Is steam rising from a teapot really visible? You'll find out when one of these three contestants wins the chance to drive home in this brand new Pontiac Fiero GT in just a split second. And now, here's the star of our show, Monty Hall.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And welcome to our show. It's a lot of fun, split second. But before we get into the game, let me answer the question you saw at the beginning. Steam itself is not visible. What we see are tiny beads of water that condense out of the steam.
Aww.
Well, if you don't like it, don't get steamed up about it. Just become invisible. That's all you have to do. This is Split Second. Our contestants play for money and a chance to win a car, and the cars have been going like hotcakes, haven't they? Now, if they can only get them to drive like cars, it'll be a lot better. Let's meet our contestants, three brand new ones.
Well, Monty, first, a lady who won a dinner of 4 steaks by wearing a daring bikini for a contest, Susan Lewis. Next, a retired insurance broker who has put his heart literally into his leisure hours. Here's Carl Galuzzo. And on your right, artist, photographer, calligrapher, student, and newlywed, Lisa Walters.
Well, looks like we have 3 very interesting contestants. I'll talk to the first 2, and then we'll meet Lisa before we go into the second round. I'm very intrigued by that opening, Susan, that you wore a bikini and won 4 steaks.
That's right, in the middle of winter.
I got to hear the story. In the middle of winter, you went down somewhere in a bikini?
Yes, there was a radio show, and the announcer said the first woman who shows up at the radio studio wearing a bikini, and this was in December. And I put on my fur coat, ran down in my bikini, went like this, said, "Do I get the steaks?"
He looked at you and he said, "You can have the farm."
Imagine what I'm going to do for the car.
You're not a flasher anyway.
Stick around, folks. This show may be better than you think. I can hardly wait. Carl, there's nothing left for you and I to talk about. I mean, who cares?
That's not bad, eh?
I mean, after the story of the bikini and what could happen, what do you and I want to discuss about? She's apparently going to put her body into it. And you're going to put your heart into it from the beginning. What did he mean by putting your heart into your work?
Well, I'll tell you. About 11 years ago, I became totally disabled through Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. And at that time, a good friend of mine, Dr. Bessaghini, introduced a program in the city of Buffalo to rebuild your heart through exercise. And thank God it's working, and here we are.
Well, that's great. Great. You'll keep going for another 50 anyhow, right? That's terrific. Well, he puts his heart in his work, she puts her body into her work, and Lisa, you photograph it all, right?
I guess so.
I'll find out something about Lisa when we come back to play our second round. Anyway, before we start the show, let me once again, for the people for the first time seeing this, how we play. Split second, all questions come in 3 parts, 3 answers to each question. Now, I only want 1 answer from each of you in this first round. Now, if all 3 of you come up with an answer, it's worth $10 to you. If 2 of you come up with an answer, it's worth $25 each. And if only 1 of you comes up with an answer per question, it's worth $50. You buzz in to see who goes first. You don't buzz in too quickly, and not until you see all the questions come up on the screen. If you buzz in too quickly, you could block yourself out. And we have a little cutoff device, right? So you have to wait until the question is up. Now, if you're ready, you poise your fingers, and here we go with round number 1. Through the years, television sitcoms have given us some really odd characters, from outer space aliens to witches. I'll name 3 of the most famous of those offbeat TV characters. You pick one, name the star who played the role. Look at the screen. The one from outer space, the flying nun, and the genie. Lisa.
The Genie in I Dream of Jeannie was Barbara Eden.
That's right. Susan.
Mork from Outer Space was Robin Williams.
And that's right. Carl. Who was the flying nun?
I can't remember her name.
She became a great actress in motion pictures. I think she's won 2 Academy Awards so far. Her name is Sally Field. Very well known, but she started off as the flying nun. Now, that means that the girls each have scored, and since 2 of you scored, $25 apiece. Here are the brand names of 3 well-known foreign tires sold in most countries of the world. Take your pick. Name its country of origin. Look at the screen. Carl?
Michelin tire,
Comes
France.
from France. Correct. Susan?
Pirelli, Italian.
That's right. Lisa?
Bridgestone, England.
No, you'd be surprised to hear that it comes from Japan. The owner's name in Japanese means Bridgestone. Isn't that interesting? And that's the correct answer. And Carl and Susan get money, and Lisa's still thinking about how Bridgestone is Japanese. The Ford Motor Company was founded by Henry Ford, of course. But what famous men are credited with these major corporations? Look at the screen. U.S. Steel, Standard Oil, and the guy who created the 5 and 10, Susan.
5 and 10 is Woolworth?
That's right, Frank Woolworth. That's a good guess. Lisa?
Standard Oil is John Paul Getty.
No, that's not right, although he's quite an oil baron. Carl?
Ford.
No, Standard Oil was John D. Rockefeller. And U.S. Steel was Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie Steel, remember all those stories you heard about him? All right, so only one person scores in that round, and it's Susan. She picks up a full $50 and takes a nice lead. Heads of state such as Margaret Thatcher of England and Brian Mulroney of Canada are in the headlines every day. So I want you to pick one of the heads of these states. Name the country he heads. Take a look at the screen. Here are the names. You tell me the state. And Lisa goes first. We have Papandreou, we have Hawke, and we have Cole.
Papandreou is Greece.
That's correct. Good shot. Carl.
England for Prime Minister Robert Hawke.
No, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in England. You've forgotten that, haven't you?
I know,
Susan?
yes, it's true.
Helmut Kohl for Germany?
Yes, right. Which Germany? East or west?
West?
Good guess. Prime Minister Robert Hawke is Australia, so the two girls get $25 apiece. 7. The number 7 must be a lucky number in Hollywood because you'll find 7 in a whole load of movies. Here are 3 such movies with part of the title missing. Pick one and fill in the title. Here they are. We have Marilyn Monroe in The 7 Years, 7 Brides for 7, Burt Lancaster in 7 Days. Susan.
7 Brides for 7 Brothers?
That's right. That was a great picture. Lisa.
Marilyn Monroe in The 7-Year Itch.
That scratch as well. And Carl?
7 Days for 7 Nights.
No, Burt Lancaster was 7 Days in May was the name when he played a general, a very evil general, if I remember correctly. However, you don't score, and again, the girls get $25 each, and they're leaving you behind, Carl. But maybe you'll come back now to the category of sports.
Never know.
Sports is the category. Most sports require special footwear. I'll give you the names of 3 superstar athletes. You tell me what, if anything, each wears on his feet. Look at the screen. Willie Shoemaker, Greg Louganis, and Nolan Ryan. Susan.
Greg Louganis, nothing?
That's right, because he's the champion, world champion
That's
diver. Correct. Carl?
Nolan Ryan sneakers.
Sneakers? No, be more specific. What sport?
Okay, basketball.
That basketball is not right. No, baseball. Nolan Ryan is the great pitcher with the Houston Astros, and he doesn't wear sneakers. He wears baseball shoes. Can't score you right there. Lisa, I tried to help you too. Lisa?
Willie Shoemaker cleats.
No, he wears boots. Willie Shoemaker, one of the greatest jockeys of all time. And what do you know? Susan picks up another $50, and look at the lead she's got. Carly Simon and Paul Simon have both managed to write some of the top songs in the music business. I'll give you the titles of 3 hit songs. Pick one and tell me who sang and wrote it, Carly or Paul. Here they are. There are the songs. Nobody Does It Better, Mockingbird, and Love Me Like a Rock. Carl?
Mockingbird, Paul.
Mockingbird, Carly. Sorry. Susan?
Nobody Does It Better, Carly?
That's right. Lisa?
Love Me Like a Rock, Paul.
Now you've got the right Simons, and Carl doesn't have this. That makes you Simple Simon for this round, doesn't it? All right. With Susan and Lisa all scoring in that round, we'll take a look at the end of the first round. Carl, I hate to say this, but Susan has $225, Lisa $100, and you have $25. So put your heart into it when we come back in the next round. We'll double the stakes and see if Carl can make a comeback right after this. I'm talking to Lisa, who is the third of our contestants. We met Carl and Susan before, and Lisa's a student, and I was asking her about what Sandy said at the beginning of the show, that she does photography and calligraphy, and I said, do you do it for a living? And she said, no, I'm too busy being a student. But I imagine that you must do the calligraphy on at least a paying basis. That's very hard work to do.
Well, actually, I don't. I've just been doing it for my own enjoyment, and for my wedding recently, I designed all the books and I made banners.
Well, that's why I mentioned it, because I know that today there are people who do calligraphy for invitations, and they charge a lot of money because each invitation must be specially addressed, right?
Well, maybe I can promote myself today, and maybe somebody will call me.
All right, well, bring us a sample of your work if you stay on for a couple of shows, okay?
Oh, okay, for
All
sure.
Right. Very good, Lisa. Good luck to you and to Carl and to Susan as we go into our second round. And this time, the questions are just as before. You each have to answer part of it, but we double the stakes. Now, 3 people answer, they get $20 each. If 2 of you answer part of the question, it's $50, and if only 1 person answers the question, it's $100. You want the money, of course, because the money belongs to you. But more important than that, you're jockeying for position in the countdown round to get that advantage, because the one who wins the countdown round goes for the car. Here we go. Get ready for the second round. Let's go traveling with the great explorers of years ago. I'll give you the facts, you name the explorer. Look at the screen. I want you to tell me the Venetian who visited China, his ships were the first to circle the globe, and he discovered the West Indies. And Carl goes first.
Columbus.
For which one?
He discovered the West Indies in 1492.
Good.
Excuse me.
In 1942, he'd have been sort of a Johnny-come-lately,
I'll say,
wouldn't
wouldn't
he? Lisa, how about you?
His ships were first to circle the globe, Magellan.
Magellan is right, and that leaves you with the Venetian.
I think that might be Marco Polo.
That's right, and he's the guy that discovered spaghetti too, isn't he, right? Okay, now each of you get $20 apiece. Now, of course, you'd have known that if you watched Split Second. It was one of our questions not too long ago. Sylvester Stallone has become a household name since he wrote and starred in Rocky. Let's see what else you know about him. Look at the screen. We want to know his nickname, the number of Rocky films to date, and his character name in First Blood. Carl?
The Rock.
The Rock.
His nickname is The Rock.
Wrong.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Susan?
I think his nickname might be Sly.
That's right. Sly is his nickname. Or I would have accepted the Italian style. And Lisa?
His character name in First Blood was John Rambo.
Rambo, yes. And the number of Rocky films to date, 4. I guess as the years go by, we can expect Rocky 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on, until they count him out. All right. Okay. Let me take a look at the score right now. Susan has 295, Lisa 170, Carl 45. Inventions and discoveries are often named after the person who came up with the idea. Were any of these 3 common items named after the inventor? Answer yes or no. Look at the screen. Was the Franklin stove named for somebody? Was the saxophone named for somebody? Was the sandwich named for somebody? Carl?
The sandwich was named after Lord Sandwich when he was playing cards one evening, and he asked for a sandwich. They took a piece of bread, two pieces of bread.
No, he didn't ask for a sandwich. He says, "Can I have me?"
And he won, I guess.
That's right. Yes, it was actually, he was the Earl of Sandwich, and you got it. He took 2 pieces of bread and put some meat in between, and he invented the sandwich. That's an interesting story, and come back later, Carl will tell us the rest of the story. Susan.
Thank you.
Franklin stove, Benjamin Franklin.
That's right,
Probably.
Benjamin Franklin.
Probably.
He created the Franklin stove. How about the saxophone, Lisa?
Saxophone, yes.
Yes, it was named after Antoine Sax. So all 3 of you knew something there, and all 3 of you scored. A number of kings and queens in history have been called the Great. So I'll give you the countries and the years the 3 greats ruled. You give me their names. Look at the screen. There was a great one in France, a great one in Macedonia, and a great one in Russia. Carl?
Louis the Fifth.
No.
King
In
Louis.
France, it was Louis XIV. But you know what I'm going to do? All I wanted was his name, not his number, and I'm going to accept Louis.
Thank you.
Okay, Carl? Because I didn't want the number, just the name. Lisa?
Russia was Nicholas the Great.
No, it wasn't. Susan?
Macedonia, Alexander.
Alexander was right for Macedonia, and this is going to be surprising. It was Catherine. She knew now. Lisa knew second time round. Carl and Susan score and each get $50, and that's more like it, Carl. Many nursery rhymes deal with food, so here are 3 facts that should lead you to something to eat. Pick one and name the food involved. Look at the screen. Nursery rhymes, what was the food? And Carl, tell me the first one. Whatever one you want to choose. Choose any one of them.
Made by Queen of Hearts and their tarts.
That's tarts is right. That's what she ate. And Susan.
Peas porridge, for some like it, in the pot 9 days
Please
old.
porridge hot, please porridge cold, please porridge in the pot 9 days old. Right. Lisa?
Sold for 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns.
Good for you. You know your nursery rhymes. You each get $20. A number of great classical musicians have interesting first names. I'll give you their instrument and their first name. You pick one and give me his last name. There's the violinist, Itzhak. There's the pianist, Vladimir. And there's the violinist, Yehudi. Give me their second names. Okay, Carl?
I have to pass.
Buzzed in, but didn't know. Susan?
Yehudi Menuhin.
Yehudi Menuhin is right. And Lisa? Well, it's violinist Itzhak Perlman and pianist Vladimir Horowitz, one of the greatest, I suppose, the greatest of all time. And Susan gets the only answer there and picks up $100. In baseball, 4 balls means a walk. And here's information about 3 other sports where the number 4 is part of the game. Pick one and name the sport. Look at the screen. A sport with 4 walls, 4 downs, 4 12-minute periods. Carl?
4 home runs for 4 walls.
There's no 4 home runs there. What did you name of the sport? I don't see any 4 home runs. I see 4 walls, 4 downs, 4 12-minute periods. What sport? Pick one and give me a sport.
Baseball.
I'm sorry, but you have to be more specific. Lisa?
4 downs is football.
4 downs is football. You should know that. Carl? Susan?
4 12-minute periods.
Take a guess.
Soccer.
No, basketball. And the 4 walls, you could say handball, racquetball, squash. There's so many of them. And so, Lisa, you picked up a very good $100 there. We come to the end of the second round, and as we go into the countdown round, who will have the advantage? It's going to be Susan first, Lisa second, Carl third. The exciting countdown round in just a minute. Well, this is the countdown round, which determines who goes for the car. The questions are just as before, but with this little difference. Now when you buzz in, you can give me 1, 2, or all 3 parts of the answer, and that helps the person from behind make a comeback. Now what happens is that each time you give a correct answer, we count down one number. The first person to 0 wins. How many numbers do you start with? Well, that determines where you stand after the second round. Susan was in the lead. She only has to come up with 4 answers. Lisa was second. She has to come up with 5 answers. Carl with 6 answers. It's a brand new game, Carl. It's a handicap race, and you're trailing. But now let's see who comes from behind. All right. Of course, the winner of this game gets a chance to go for the car. Are you ready? Latin isn't quite as dead a language as you might think. As a matter of fact, you should be able to tell me the common use Latin translation of the following. Look at the screen. One thing in return for another, and so forth, in proportion. Give me the Latin word for it, Carl.
And so forth, comme ci, comme ça.
No, it's not Latin, and it's not comme ci, comme ça. Susan.
And so forth, etc.
Etc., 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 as in the king and I. Right, and you may continue. All right, Lisa, here's a chance for you. In proportion, or one thing in return for another. One thing in return for another is quid pro quo. You've heard that before. And in proportion, pro rata. So Susan counts down 1 to 3. Carl still needs 6. Lisa needs 5. For over 80 years, Nobel Prizes have been awarded to outstanding scientists. Here are 3 scientific discoveries that brought their discoveries the Nobel Prize. Name the famous scientist. Look at the screen. Here's what they did. Now tell me who the scientist was. Lisa.
Discovered elements of radium, Einstein?
Not correct. Susan.
Elements of radium, Marie Curie.
That is right. Continue.
Penicillin was Fleming.
That's right. Continue.
Discovered X-rays, not Marie Curie again, I
No,
suppose.
Carl, do you know? No, and they probably took plenty of you when you were in the hospital. The man who discovered the X-rays was Röntgen, R-O-E-N-T-G-E-N, Röntgen.
In Hungarian, that's what it is.
Was he Hungarian?
too.
I don't know. Now let me take a look where we are. Susan has only 1 to go. Carl has 6. Lisa has 5. And Susan, you could do it on this question. Shakespeare created some outstanding women characters. I'll give you short descriptions of 3 of them. You name the lady. Look at the screen. First name of the shrew, the one who had to try to get imaginary bloodstains off her hands, and the one who loved Hamlet. Carl.
Lace. I pass.
Pass. Okay. Susan? You only need 1. Too late, Lisa.
No.
Chance for you to come back.
Tried to get imaginary bloodstains off the hands, Lady Macbeth.
That's right. Go on.
She loved Hamlet, Ophelia.
That's right. Another one.
First
name of the shrew.
Marjorie.
No. Kate. Kiss me, Kate. Katharina. Kate. But you pick up 2, and now you're down to 3. If you want to go island hopping, you better know where to find your islands. I'll show you 3 islands. You tell me what body of water they're in. Look at the screen. Malta, Guernsey, and Bermuda. Lisa, if you get all 3 here, you could win the game.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Where to find these islands? Here are the islands. You tell me the body of water they're in.
Bermuda, the Pacific Ocean?
That is not right. Susan, get this one, and you win.
Malta's in the Mediterranean.
You've just won yourself a championship. Bermuda was in the Atlantic Ocean, and Guernsey was in the English Channel, which means that we have a brand new champion now. Her name is Susan, and in just a moment we're going to see if she runs up to the car wearing her bikini or not. But in the meantime, we have to say goodbye to Carl, who put his heart and soul into it, but it wasn't enough today.
A pleasure,
And
Mr.
Carl, I'll give you
Montreal.
$135 to take along with you. Lisa, $310 to buy some photographic supplies and be a good student,
Thank
will you?
you. Thank
And send me something in your own calligraphy.
I will.
And in the meantime, Susan, the young lady who's won this championship with me today, is going to try and win that beautiful automobile right up there. Well, Susan Lewis, this is the car that you're going to try for, and Sandy will describe it.
Monty and Susan, that's the sporty Pontiac Fiero GT. It's equipped with all the Fiero standard features like the fuel-injected V6 engine, cruise control, and AM/FM stereo cassette player, plus pop-off sunroof and air conditioning.
All right, Susan, since you are a first-time champion, let me describe this part of the game. You have qualified to pick one of our 5 screens. The split-second screens are all there, and the car is lurking behind one of them. You get a choice, and if it's there, the car is yours.
Well, for my son Charlie, who's 5, I'll pick number 5.
All right, for son Charlie, who is 5, we pick number 5, and we go over to number 5, and we see if it's there. The music is blasting, the thing is turning, and what is that? And she's got the car! She has got the car, first time shot. Good old Charlie.
We're going to call the car Charlie.
Listen, we're going to call the car Charlie. And for your grandmother from Hungary, she told me that her grandmother in Hungary watches the quiz shows, and there the first prize was a pair of rubber gloves.
That's right.
Can you imagine what she's going to think when she sees you winning a car here? Absolutely fantastic. $485 in cash. And Brandon, look who's coming up. Is Charlie and your
Emily.
And Emily was too old to be on the street.
Right.
Charlie, you're the lucky guy. Congratulations to Mr. Lewis. And this brand new car. Well, who's going to get in the car first? Get in the car, Charlie. That's your car. Can you climb in? Go in head first. And so the Lewises are a happy family. We're happy for them. They've won a brand new car. More on Split Second next time round. See you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Split Second is a Stephen Hayden's Monty Hall production.